Hey guys, I'm Babe, Sushi Babe, and here's another anime review that I feel very compelled to do, and I will be reviewing Barakamon. The story revolves around a talented calligrapher named Hunter Seishu, who is exiled to a small island after punching a famous calligrapher in the face for insulting his work. It was also an old man. Fucking bravo. Being someone who is used to living in the city, Hunter is meant to adapt to his new surroundings and improve his calligraphy during his time there. However, little does he know that he was going to undergo a fuckload of distractions as he befriends a group of kids who become quite fond of his presence. Now what I love about Barakamon is how it portrays everyday life on a Japanese island. Pretty much everything feels a lot different. There's a lack of modern day technology, they use pit toilets, bath heaters, and public transport is very rare. The villagers are shown to be more active with outdoor activities. Some of the villagers have a very thick accent, which is probably influenced by their previous generation. A lot of people compare the show to Usagi Drop, which is understandable. However, I find that both shows are completely different since it explores different themes and has a different focus. Usagi Drop focuses on a father-to-daughter relationship and what it's like to raise a child, while Barakamon focuses on someone trying to live their life to the fullest and opening up to others, plus it focuses more on comedy. The relationship between Hunter and a girl named Naru really isn't as important as Hunter learning to become a better person, which is clearly presented in this show, and that's what this anime really is about, a life lesson. The pacing of the show is pretty good, since in each episode it feels very meaningful. We watch Hunter slowly open up to others and developing his relationship with them. He tries very hard to improve his calligraphy, but is constantly getting distracted, resulting in losing sleep and causing his health to get worse. But what really influences his calligraphy isn't by how hard he works. The real influence is his experience on the island and the people he interacts with there. He is shown to do more outdoor activities with the villagers, which results in some great hilarious moments due to how hopeless he is and needing the villagers to take care of him. But at the end of the day, he ends up feeling inspired by a certain idea and creates another style of calligraphy while the idea is still fresh in his head. The execution was great since they know how to space out the comedy and story progression quite well, and they managed to do this while keeping that perfect sense of slice of life feel to it. The comedy was really entertaining, even though they do rely on us feeling frustrated with the main character's misfortune. But I was so surprised by how heartwarming this anime was. Nothing felt melodramatic and everything felt absolutely natural. It doesn't need to use drama to give us that sense of emotion, it just does it by conveying the messages of its themes, and we end up feeling a sense of connection on terms of how Hunter feels. Now the characters in Barakamon are alright. This is a slice of life, so I didn't expect too much out of it. A lot of the characters are, well, you know, they're just there. They fulfill their roles of portraying the attitudes and behaviours of the people who live in an island. They are also shown to be very friendly, too friendly that it gets a bit too creepy sometimes. But it's interesting how different the villagers are compared to people who live in modern day society. The people who live in an island are shown to be more connected with each other and go out their way to take care of one another. It's just interesting how they present this message to the audience by showing how technology pulls people away from each other while the lack of technology pulls people in together. Naru Kotoshi is quite an icon towards this series and is shown to be the second main character. However, that doesn't mean that she strays away from still feeling like a side character. She is important, but the relationship between her and Hunter still feels like a generic, annoying kid likes to annoy an easily irritated adult. She does have quite an influence towards Hunter in changing him as a person, which I will talk about later. I do think Naru is a very cute child and I adore her thick accent. She shows a lot of care towards Hunter in her own way, as much as Hunter does for her. She's generally very entertaining to watch and she does portray a quirky, energetic child well. The other side characters that do get more screen time are characters with their own motives. They do have their own personal problems and some of these problems are used as hilarious gags, such as Tama, who is not able to bring herself to tell the other villagers that she wants to become a manga artist and continues to deny her interest of yaoi, aka boys love.
Oh, you touch my tra-la-la.
But much to my disappointment, their problems remain unsolved or developed. Kinda sucks since some of the side characters that have more screen time in the series can actually stray away from just being two-dimensional. But now it's time to talk about what makes the aspects of his characters shine in Barakamon. It was definitely the main protagonist. Hunter Seishu is a very relatable and believable character. He's someone that represents me as a person, minus the calligraphy. Yes, I am talking about myself since I want to let you guys know why I think he represents a real human being, and this is why he is one of my most favorite male characters. I'm going to describe what Hunter is like. Hunter is someone with pride and aspirations. He is someone that prefers to have his own space since he becomes easily distracted. He also gets anxious very often, even by little things. He gets irritated by the presence of others when he's in the middle of working, especially when he is being annoyed by kids. It does take time for him to open up to others, and when he does, he feels a sense of gratitude towards them. He's someone that develops a lot throughout the whole show. He starts as someone who is very introverted, but then comes to realize the fact that he feels more alive when he is around his friends. He begins to succumb to that feeling of love from others. He also becomes more outgoing and acknowledges the beauty of things. It can be little things such as gazing at the stars. His style of calligraphy also begins to change from something that looks very fundamental to something that is made from pure love and passion. He's a flawed person who is just learning. By the end of the show, he becomes a lot different. He appreciates the presence of others and wants to live life to the fullest, along with showing a better sense of enjoyment towards his work. Because of his satisfying amount of development and lessons that he learnt, Barakamon's ending felt complete because of him. The animation of the show is pretty mediocre. For setting on an island, I was hoping that they could put a bit more detail in the scenery, but sadly I couldn't find any. It looks a bit too lazily done as well. A lot of the movements look as if they skipped a few frames, so it barely looks smooth in most scenes. Sometimes they figure out cheap ways to skip doing the actual animation, which makes me cringe. However, I really shouldn't care about the animation when I am given a slice of life to watch. The sloppy animation can add to the comedic effect when watching it. They do draw some hilarious facial expressions and add wacky effects during the comedic scenes. Also, I did like the use of bright colours to give it a better atmosphere, but other than that, I really wasn't impressed. The soundtrack is pretty nice. I mean, it doesn't stand out enough to avoid being forgettable, but it has a fair share of nice music. A lot of it is meant to be light-hearted and goofy, but the heartwarming ones sound very soothing. I liked how the music fits the tone of the setting, since it gives that daily life on an island feel to it. I absolutely loved the opening and ending credits. They're just very charming in general, and the songs really help it shine. The art style of the ending credits looks brilliant. I love the use of textures that was shown in it. It's amazing how something that seems so simple can be so well choreographed at the same time. Barakamon is an entertaining anime with a lot of meaning to it. I can easily recommend it to anyone who enjoys a slice of life genre. It's relaxing, it's entertaining, and it's very heartwarming. I give Barakamon a well-deserved 7 out of 10. Anyways, this has been Sushi Babe, and I hope you have a good day.